So an Abacus poll from July found that most of the country has a negative impression of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The worst results he's ever had. So Selena, does a Prime Minister need to be popular or well-liked? Is that high up on your list?
I don't think that he needs to be popular or well-liked, but this is a G7 country, and he needs to be trusted. Right? So when you make decisions like going on vacation during the National Day of Reconciliation, you're probably not going to be trusted to make sound judgments when it comes to our security or handling a pandemic. So I don't know how the question was phrased during the research, but the likability factor might be tied more to trusting his ability as a leader as opposed to this being a random popularity contest for your favorite barista at Starbucks. Right? It's not the same thing. And this, I mean, I think if Trudeau is looking at this story, he should be sort of questioning what this actually means in terms of if he's going to run again, if he's going to go for this prime minister thing again, he should really look at it. Yeah.
I'm just not sure. I hear what you're saying. I think that, like, the leader of my nation, I need to trust that the leader of my nation is going to make good decisions. I get that. I don't know that this poll, what it's based on, as your point, that word likability, right?
Totally fair.
I'm not sure it's connected to trust, because in this Globe and Mail article, they cite all kinds of things like the way he looks, the way he talks. They talk about, people find the way he talks affected. That's not about judgment to me. That's more about, I can't stand that person because...
It's kind of like what Hillary Clinton in many ways went through.
And that to me is different. And for me, I don't need to be best friends with the Prime Minister of my country. Like, I don't need that. So I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for somebody I think can make good decisions. All the time, preferably, but I'm not actually sure that there is a world leader that is 100 out of 100 in making all the best decisions all the time. So I don't know what this poll is supposed to tell me.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Again, when you look at these kinds of polls, you have to sort of infer what people are thinking when they are checking the box. Do I like him? Does that bring in all kinds of other things? Like, I don't like the haircut. I don't trust him. I don't this. I don't that. There's a whole bunch of things.
Don't you think that voters do vote based on those feelings and not facts?
The likability
I don't
factor.
like him. There's something about him. I don't like the way he talks. Don't you think? Because let me be honest. I think that while ideally people vote by information and after doing their research, I'm not sure how many people actually show up having read everything and understood all the issues. And it's mostly on, your
likability factor. And we saw that definitely with Hillary Clinton when she was up against Donald Trump. She is by far was the most experienced candidate ever. She's a lawyer, she was First Lady, she was a Secretary of State, and still, everybody talked about what? Her likability factor. I even spoke to one political expert who said she's like the teacher whose class no one wants to take. And it was all, they reduced this very accomplished woman down to her likability and her pantsuits and her haircut, which I know has a lot to do with sexism. But I'm like you, I don't need to like you, I need to know that you can do the job well. I need,
That's a trust factor.
I need you to know that you're going in and whatever you say you're going to do, that you're absolutely going to do that. And we saw what happened to Hillary, and it was terrible, and it was really sad for us all to watch this very accomplished woman not get the job that she deserved because people didn't feel like they could have a beer with her, which is the conversation they always have, right? About like, do you feel like you would want to have a beer with this person?
It's like many people are looking for commonality, whereas I feel like we're saying that we're looking for exceptionalism. Like, I want my leader to be better than me, to be smarter than me, to be faster in a foot race. Not necessarily in a foot race, but just generally a better person than me. But I will say that this popularity thing, for instance, did anyone see the video that went around this weekend with Beto O'Rourke?
Yes.
And he was in the middle of giving a speech, and he was talking, about the senselessness that in America, an 18-year-old in many parts of the country can go in and buy several assault rifles. And someone in the audience, not a supporter of his, laughed. And Beto said, "It's not funny to me," and he used mother expletive in it. And the crowd went wild. They were cheering for him. And in that moment, all that stuff I just said, I'm looking for all of these things. If I were American and I could vote for him. I wouldn't care what his platform was.
Based on
I
that
would,
moment?
Yeah, just on that moment.
But that's
So I'm just saying,
authenticity. That's authenticity.
Exactly.
Right? Which is a factor of trust. So if you look at research related to trust, I'm going to go back to the original point. It involves logic, it involves empathy, and it involves authenticity. And if you cannot see yourself in that person at all, which is probably related to likability, it is connected to trust.
Is it authenticity though? These are performers. Like politicians are in America for sure. Like that is a theater. That's a stage. And like this is someone, Beto especially in Texas, who understands the vibe of certain crowds, the appeal of a certain male figure politician who can just drop an F-bomb like that in a crowd. Like, I don't know that I think that is the key, is authenticity that feels, or sorry, a performance that feels like authenticity.
Yeah.
It could very well be. I just think that when you talk about likability, there is so many different components of that word that can either make you or break you. And in that moment, it made him. But in some moments, in a different context, in a different situation, it will break you faster than anything else. And we've seen it play out many, many times.
You know where you can get some more all-around great content? Our YouTube page. It's filled with all the laughs and thought-provoking chats you could ask for. So do yourself a favor, like and subscribe now.